Call the spaceships the Davenport, prepare for a divanarchy, and interface with a couch in space. It's a couch, and it's in space, and that's why it's called Void Signal. I'm just kidding. It's called Static TV. I'm just kidding again. It's called Space Couch, and I'm so happy you came back with us after the 4th of July break. I am also happy that this show has some advertisers because, space gas is expensive in this economy. Brought to you this week by Liger Hawk Records. We have How Can the Crow Be Real If Birds Aren't Real by Dot Exorcist. It's awesome. The Best of Tommy Tantrum from Tommy Tantrum. It's great. Plus 3 Tentacle Knife from 8-Bit Panda Strike. Maybe my favorite 8-Bit Panda Strike. Decade Decoded from James Netherwald. It's amazing. Invictus' self-titled EP, Invictus Industrial Goodness. Interfaced from Dot Exorcist. So good. And brand new also from Dot Exorcist, Anger, Pain, Fear, and Aggression. I think it's his best work. We put out a sampler. Enter the Octagon. It's free. Check it out. A Game Night from 8-Bit Panda Strike. It goes a little blue. Trapped in the Universe, the new single from Tommy Tantrum. Space Wallop from England's own Bitman. It's so good. And check it out. Eye of the Liger Hawk Online Festival. We're putting on our first online festival, July 21 at 3 p.m. Bands are still... But I'll tell you, because you watched this far in the episode, so far we've confirmed Gasoline Inverter, Bitman, 8-Bit Panda Strike, and Invictus, at least, but more may be coming. Also, our sponsor this week, it blows me away that they're still a sponsor, but my favorite toy company, Super 7. You want to go to super7.com/Space Couch Show as one word if you want to pick up some dope action figures. I'm always picking up stuff from them. My latest acquisition was Ray Fillet from the Turtles. I love my fish people. And they had them in glow in the dark. So it's like, that's 2 of my favorite things going on right there. But even more than glow in the dark fish people, which is a tall order, is my excitement for today's guest, because it's gonna be real. I'm so excited to talk to this person. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ian of Comix Division. What's going on, man?
Doing good. I'm excited too. I'm basically a nobody, and you're the lead singer of the Gossicles. So this is pretty awesome.
I mean, I so far they haven't taken that away from me yet.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
We'll see if they call in a replacement. But we'll get to that in a second. We're here to talk about you. So to that end, let's just start off with the new title graphic for a segment we call Describe Your Vibe. So what can we expect from the inimitable Comix Division, and so how would you describe your own internet offerings?
Oh man, I've always kind of billed myself as an asshole with a microphone.
Okay.
I talk about entertainment, mainly complaining about how bad it is.
Fantastic.
I started off talking about comics, hence the name Comix Division. Back in the 2017, Marvel Comics was just a complete dumpster fire. Still technically is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've since abandoned talking about comic books, and I just mainly talk about entertainment and politics as well. 2017,
was that? Oh, was Civil War still fucking going? And I just remember it was going for like 10,000 years. Like, you guys do other stuff anyway.
Oh, the event Civil War? No, that was already over with.
Okay.
Since then, you had like Access. Oh God, what was the big one that kind of ruined everything?
It was they went back to the well for Civil War II. Anyway, but so you are a fellow asshole with a microphone,
yes.
And we will pull in an edit point here.
At this point, I think it's pretty safe to say that The Acolyte is probably one of the worst shows that was ever made by Disney. And all you have to do is just go and take a look at the audience score. 14%. That is freaking low. And that audience score is far more important than the critic score. Because TVs and movies are made for the audience and not the critics. But because we live in current year, and anytime somebody doesn't like a TV show or a movie, it gets labeled as review bombing by the access media. But that's how it works. If you don't like something, you leave a bad review. Much like if you like something, you leave a positive review. But no one goes around saying, oh, it's being love bombed. What?
We do fly close to the sun. Metaphorically and literally, so your glasses might get a little fogged up, all the heat. Plus,
well, I'm in Texas, so it's pretty hot out.
Oh, you're in. Oh man, are you in?
Yeah.
As we're recording this, it's because of some of the things I want to bring up may change hourly. Are you in the path of it's 7/11, July 11th? I mean, are you in the path of the hurricane?
I'm more inland, so
Okay.
it's like if anything, we get rain. Houston, Galveston area, that area tends to get pounded pretty hard. But
okay,
since I'm so far inland, it basically once it gets towards San Antonio, it basically dies out, and it's already a tropical storm.
Okay, good. I mean, not good, but like you're not in immediate danger of dying.
No, I'm fine.
Cool. Awesome. So you have a voluminous merch section at something called Pixel Nation. What is Pixel Nation?
Well, it's Beach Punk is the beachpunk.us is the where we have a lot of the merch stuff.
Okay.
Pixel Nation is kind of a funny story. That's mainly what I called my community.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with writer Dan Slott from Marvel. He used to write for Spider-Man.
Not by name. I'm not that cool.
Okay. Well, back in 2017, he did an interview with Ethan Van Sciver, and he basically was describing the people who were criticizing him online as a bunch of pixels. And one of the guys in my comment section said Pixel Nation. I was like, dude, I'm stealing that. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Pixel Nation is sort of the modern day muckrakers of the comics division, and you can get some wonderful merch up there. Midget Man is not actually a comic strip, though. That's from...
No, it's okay. That actually deserves the backstory.
We love
there's
backstories.
another YouTuber named Jay. He goes by Drunk 3PO, and he's a super tall guy. All right,
Okay.
I'm not. I'm like 5'9". Guy towers over me. We're in Vegas during one of our meetups, and he holds his camera up like super high. And he's like, "This is Comics Division." He's a midget. So the meme is I'm a midget.
Okay.
So yeah, the whole Midget Man comics was created by my producer to torture me, of course.
All right.
Where he refaced me onto Alec Baldwin and then refaced me onto a superhero and named it Midget Man Comics, which is pretty funny. So he made a T-shirt out of it. Yeah.
All right. Well, for those of you out there needing body coverings, please check out the URL we'll put in the show notes. I mentioned the date because this might actually change as we're recording tonight, but let's just get right into it, man. Do you think Biden's going to be the Democratic nominee?
I don't know, man, because we live in clown world,
right?
And like anything's possible. So it's like if I say yes, odds are it will get reversed and they'll find a replacement. If I say, oh yeah, they're totally gonna replace them, they'll probably run them. Right? It's like you never know. It's so
crazy,
bizarre, right? Just how all this is going down. And the funny thing about it, it's like for the last like 5-6 years, people have been calling out, his mental acuity and all this stuff, and it's like, oh, it's just a vast right wing conspiracy, and
cheap
now
fakes.
Yeah, cheap fakes. It's being digitally manipulated, and then they put him on stage with Trump. He could barely string two sentences together. Gets massively destroyed, and at this point, the media has to basically go, yeah, Biden's a problem. He's replaced. Clearly, there's something going on with him. And if they want to keep their credibility, right? What's left of it, I guess.
Right. Yeah. So. I think it as we are recording this. I mean, like I said, this might change, but my personal feeling is that it's going to be a lot of sound and fury, and like ass covering, but to me, the left is sort of defined by not wanting to step out of line, and so no one's gonna be like the first to get squashed. You know, it's basically to me a party based on fear of being called out by the mob.
Right.
Not that I would know anything about that, but
No, clearly not. Right.
so I think people are gonna like try to get some sort of weird cred in case it doesn't be him, but it's probably just gonna break for
there's a lot of factors that play into it, specifically when it comes to the donation money, right? Because they've donated to the Biden-Harris campaign, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, internet, they often do. If he steps down, they have to keep Kamala because that way that the funds basically, I believe, can transfer to her.
She's got to be on the ticket.
Right. But right now, like all the funds are drying up because the heavy hitters in the Democratic Party that do the donations are like, we're no longer donating to the campaign.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just like money talks, right? So for all my prognostications about not wanting to step out of line, the almighty dollar may dictate that after all. It's the best show on television besides Space Couch.
It really is.
Comix.
Too kind.
I wanted to at least do a drive-by of politics, but now let's get into the real important stuff. You know, like the future of the nation is all well and good, but can Star Wars be saved?
That's a tough one. Have you been watching The Acolyte at all?
No, I tapped out. I'll tell you why. But I had to tap out. It was just like a job. There was so much Star Wars in the world that it was just like, I'm done. So I have not. I've only heard about The Acolyte.
It's atrocious.
Okay, it's as bad as I've heard.
Yeah, it's probably worse.
Okay.
In a lot of ways. I mean, they basically, with the last episode, they went and just completely demonized the Jedi, who are supposed to be the good guys, right? And they're pushing this like, there's no good, there's no evil, there's a shades of gray, which side you're on, and it's like that's total garbage. That's the whole
thing, is that there's a light side and a dark side, and get out of here with your fakakta gray Jedi.
Yeah. But this show does a lot of damage. They're not endearing themselves with the fans in the slightest. Predominantly, it was Kathleen Kennedy came out and said, yes, Star Wars is still vastly a male franchise. Don't know why, because they've been doing their damnedest to chase it off. Chase off the old school fans like myself, people who grew up with Star Wars. I mean, can it be saved? I mean, in its current incarnation, no. I mean, pretty much at this point, Disney, there are ways they could salvage it, right? The first thing is going, hey, we're sorry we called you racist, misogynist, sexist, blah 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 blah, right? Like ever since the Last Jedi has come out, that's basically what they've been calling the original fandom that's been complaining about this stuff. That's the first step right there. That's something they will never do, though, right? They're never going to apologize for what they've done. Kathleen Kennedy is not going to apologize, and she's going to be there as long as she wants to be there. But even if she steps down, that basically means Dave Filoni is probably going to be in charge and calling the shots, and he really isn't any better. They need to, at this point, completely clean house, shelve Star Wars for like a decade.
Yes.
Decanonize all the garbage that has come out since Disney has purchased Star Wars. And, I don't know, try and pick up the pieces. I mean, and we've seen the systematic destruction of so many great franchises like Star Trek, Doctor Who, Star Wars, you name it. It's been wrecked. Indiana Jones.
Wrecked.
Completely. So no.
Okay.
In the current incarnation, it cannot be saved.
Yes. We often say there's no wrong answers here on Space Couch, but that is the correct answer. It cannot be saved. And to me, it's not even like weirdo Force babies or whatever. It's like to me, the Star Wars' main gun was always scarcity. Like growing up, there was only 3 movies, and you had to hunt out that Christmas special like you were buying a teenth. Like and then there was just Star Wars everything, like just cramming Star Wars into your face. So it's like why was Boba Fett cool? It's because
he didn't say anything.
Because he didn't say anything. He was the guy Darth Vader turned to and said no disintegrations. And you're like, oh my God, that guy, whoever he is dope. And then he became every stormtrooper. Fuck out of here. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
That's even before this acolyte gobbledygook.
Well, yeah, my issues with Star Wars honestly start with the prequels and George, right? Because when I saw The Phantom Menace in 1999, I walked out of the theater really confused, right? I did. I did not know how I felt about the movie. I was like, this movie sucked, but it's Star Wars. It's supposed to be good.
Yeah.
That was a cool fight scene, but the movie sucked. This is Star Wars. And, and then Attack of the Clones happens, which was another god-awful movie.
I think it's worse.
Yeah, it is worse in a lot of ways. And then you have Revenge of the Sith, which was the best of the 3, which really, in my opinion, is not saying a whole lot. The issue for me is someone who grew up watching Star Wars. The tale of the fall of Anakin Skywalker was far more, I don't know, better in my head canon than what we got. It's like I always kind of viewed him as like someone a lot like Han Solo. You have kind of like this roguish character.
Right.
He meets Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan probably against the orders of the Jedi, teach him to be a Jedi. And he does fine, but there's something that leads him down the path of the dark side. And you could have had this really tragic story about his fall, but the problem, what you got instead was some really annoying emo kid. It's a great job.
Who goes full bore evil in like an afternoon. Like as you just Ian, you are welcome back on Space Couch anytime. We are
thank you.
Absolutely of the same mind on this. And I love nerding out because I don't really know anybody in Knoxville. Now that I live in Knoxville. So on that trajectory, if you could reboot any existing property, what would it be?
Oh man, that's really difficult. Mainly because any property that would be rebooted now would just get completely wrecked.
Yeah, but if you could do it.
Yeah, if I could do it, I would have to say I'm a big fan of the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon from the 80s.
Oh, speaking my language.
I would love to see a good D&D cartoon or TV series that just isn't trying to make a joke of the material. It's like, it doesn't mean you can't have jokes and it can't be funny, but actually take the source material serious and tell a compelling and engaging story about a group of adventurers.
That is amazing. It would be a D&D series not focused on the rogue for once. And we get Peter Cullen to do Avenger, and that is that was not on my radar of what you would say, but it is a flawless victory. But
it's funny because I was thinking about when you said the question, I was like, I have no freaking clue. It's like maybe the D&D cartoon.
Yeah, we could really like the D&D cartoon actually did some kind of cool stuff. Like
it did.
There was an episode where they all turned like old, and it still like horrifies me as me. Myself.
Well, the other thing too about it, it's like it's already a diverse show. It's kind of like to be cliche, it checks all the boxes for current year,
right?
But it's like it came out in the 80s, and that's not what it was about. It was just about a group of friends,
right?
And
like
they
just go crazy. Yeah, no, that is such a good answer. I almost want to end the show there, but if I want to, I don't. And I will do another. I will make like Wedge Antilles and do one more pass around. I found out that we are both in our employ in tech world.
Yes.
If you could impart onto our viewers any tech tip, what would it be? Like sort of an entry level sort of thing. I don't know if you do support like I do.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm primarily a software developer and a
you're a
DevOps
developer,
engineer. Yeah. But from that standpoint, just kind of like general tech tips. Hey, make sure that you have a VPN, you have antivirus, and you buy physical media.
Physical media.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So are you talking about like backing up to jump drives and CDRs and stuff?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's one way of doing it. But actually, I know this isn't necessarily tech related per se, but
that's great.
Buy physical books, DVDs,
oh,
CDs,
right,
stuff like
right,
that.
Right. Physical,
and also backing up, having control of your own data is also, I think, very important.
Okay.
Because right now we're getting it for free to Google.
There you go. And so, like, if you have it printed on dead plants, they can't, social credit score it away from you.
Right.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you. All right. Well, we've gone to ludicrous speed and just cruising through it. Let's bust out everybody's favorite feature time. It is, space calamity. Radiation round, called that because lightning is exceedingly rare in space, but it's a lightning round. No wrong answers. Say whatever you want. Marvel, DC, Valiant, or other?
As far as a comic book publisher, I would say Dark Horse or Image.
Dark Horse or Image. Perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dark Horse. Are we gonna get a Grendel like at the?
Who knows? And again, going back to what I said previously about the current state of entertainment, do we really want to see something we care about get made right now?
That is such a good call.
Yeah,
I don't normally do like a tangent in the middle of radiation round, but it is like, I would love to see like an Archer and Armstrong movie.
Yes,
but not now.
That's a great series, but yeah.
That's fascinating. Okay, difficulty increases. War Games, Tron, or The Matrix?
I'm gonna go with Tron.
Tron, and
yes. I like all three. I love all three movies, but
yes,
I'm gonna go Tron.
No wrong answer, but we'll go with Tron for the sake of the round. And who, in your opinion, is the biggest train wreck in Congress right now?
Like individual, like politician, or just
or pass if you want.
No, Eric Swalwell.
Swalwell.
He's awful.
Awful.
Yeah, he also allegedly screwed a Chinese spy.
And just that.
Yeah, he's also on like some defense committee or something like that too. He's like, no conflict of interest. Yeah, no investigation. Don't look into this guy. Whatever.
Unreal. Swalwell is such a good answer. Got wrecked by Ben Shapiro the other day.
He did big time.
So from the top, we have Dark Horse / Image, Tron by a pixel, but Silver Medal tries to War Games and The Matrix, and Swalwell for the biggest train wreck in Congress. Now it's time for feature number 2, hypothetical spectacle. That's where we get like Barbara Walters-y weird and like distill your essence into like the comics division, the breakfast cereal, or the comics division, the rom-com. It's a well from which we often draw here on Space Couch, but I have to know what you would envision the comics division video game to be like. Would this be like a real-time strategy, but instead of cities, you make like a new show because you have a lot of offerings? Or would it be like Marvel versus Capcom, and like you can summon like Midget Man to come out and like punch the guy?
It's funny because like the avatar that I have is largely based off of Ian Curtis.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, if you actually compare like the pose to one of the the one where he has the cigarette hanging out of his mouth, it's based off of that. But at the same time, he has like the detective trench coat, so I would have to go action adventure.
Action adventure, okay.
With my avatar being a detective.
Awesome. I mean, maybe like Fugazi could be like the soundtrack, You know,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
we'll work it. We'll work in repeater plus 13 songs or something. But like, okay, yeah. So you're sleuthing around the internet, like what I used to call as a little kid a get item use item game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sick inventory.
Mhm.
You can use vast comic book knowledge on certain things. Perfect, perfect. I love it. I love it. And so that completes hypothetical spectacle with the Fugazi detective mashup. Oh, I want to play this now.
Well, no, Ian Curtis. That's Joy Division.
Oh, god damn it! What was I thinking? I was thinking Ian Mackay. I'm
Yeah, you're
sorry.
thinking Ian Mackay. Yeah, it's fine.
I got.
It's fine.
Well, he can do he's DLC.
Yes.
I'm just thinking,
Alternate
and it's
Ian.
gonna kill me. I played a band called the Gothicals when I screwed up the lead singer of Joy Division. You have to solve a murder where it turns out that he hung himself with a guitar string on a block of ice or whatever the rumor was. So yeah, we'll Joy Division will be on the soundtrack, and love may tear you apart at some point in the plot. Okay, so Comics Division, super bland stock nerd question, I know, but I gotta ask, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Teleportation, baby.
Teleportation, perfect.
Yes.
Why for teleportation?
To avoid traffic mainly. I just like the idea of instantaneous travel. I don't have to, sit on a plane for 4 or 5 hours. Driving to wherever I can instantly teleport home. That would be fantastic. It would save so much time.
Oh, you'd have like a second life. Like I think about all the times I've listened to the same album on a loop while sitting in like on Chicago Lakeshore Drive, just go. Teleportation for practical transportation needs.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Like the Nightcrawler, but practical.
Yeah.
Hello.
Long distances, short distances. Yeah, I want both.
Oh, so good. We could have you in studio here.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I mean, I don't know if you can get all the way up to space, but it's as long as we're just making stuff up. The world is our space oyster. So, we should go to find Comics Division here on YouTube. I just want to do a little bit of homework for our viewers. Not only are we going to check out some fine merch at beachpunk.us, but how often do you come out with videos and such?
I try at least minimum have something out weekly.
Okay.
Yeah. So it just a lot kind of depends on what's going on in life. But yeah, I make an effort to at least have a video or two a week.
Awesome.
Sometimes both those videos drop the same day, like what happened this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've blown through all the questions, so I'm going to get a little bit out in space. Pardon the pun. But what's the experience of that been like? Do people call you like you motherfucking Nazi, or like have you cultivated like a pretty strong base? Like how have you found the response?
It depends. If a video hits the algorithm, of course I'll get haters, right, that are in the opposition. I've heard it all pretty much at this point.
Okay.
No, I don't think anyone's actually called me a Nazi directly.
Okay.
I've been called racist, sexist, blah blah blah. I don't care. I mean, these words basically mean nothing now, unfortunately.
It's just depleted of all meaning.
Yeah, I think the one where I got it pretty bad was I responded to a few things a couple months ago about the whole Yasuke thing with Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I don't know if you know anything about.
Catch us up for that with.
Yeah.
Oh, so the black ninja.
The black samurai.
Black samurai. Excuse me.
That's not a samurai. I mean, he is a historical person, and there's just like not enough information about the guy to really know whether he was truly a made samurai or not. They call him a vassal, and people are trying to use that as a justification for him being a samurai. But what Ubisoft did is people have been begging them for years to set Assassin's Creed in Japan. And when they do it, they have the main character, one of the main characters being a black man rather than a Japanese man. And of course, they spin the narrative, oh, you just want to play a white man. And it's like, I played Ghost of Tsushima, where you play as a Japanese guy, probably one of the best games I played in the last, I would say 5 years. And it's like, I don't want or need to play a white dude in Japan, feudal Japan specifically.
Right.
And there's all this like bending over backwards. They're trying to, I think there was a game called Neo, which was completely fiction, right?
Okay.
Where you have, I think it's based off of the real Anzin-san from Shogun. I can't remember the real guy he was based off of. I think it's like John Williams, maybe. I don't remember. But it was fiction, and people were like, well, people didn't have a problem with that. It's like, yeah, but it's not real. I mean, yeah, it's based off of a real person, but this is clearly fantasy. And a good example of like the same thing is that there's a Netflix series called Yasuke, and it out of the box, complete fantasy, great show. Don't care that you have, based the character, off of this, real life individual and fictionalized it because it's already pure fiction to begin with. The issue is that what Ubisoft is doing is that they are taking this real person, which traditionally, if you played Assassin's Creed, you've never played as a real person. It's always been a fictional character. And now you're playing this real person who, again, not enough information about the guy. They're trying to say he's a samurai. It's not very clear. But they're running with that narrative. Like, he's like the greatest samurai that ever exists in Japan. It's like, no, it's not the case, guys. That's not. So yeah, for pointing stuff like that out and saying I wanted a Japanese main protagonist, I got called sexist, racist, whatever you name it. Don't care.
Okay. Yeah, it's just so wild now. I was curious as to how someone with strong opinions navigated these dicey waters, but I'm learning.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about it is that I would point out historical accuracy being a thing, and they're like, "Oh, you think this is blah 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 is historically accurate?" It's like, no, okay. And using the term historical accuracy is probably a mistake. Fidelity, historical fidelity, right?
Interesting.
Being more, I'm not going to say truthful, but a lot of stuff that happened in the Assassin's Creed games, they do take liberties with history, but a lot of the context that they have in there has been largely historically accurate, such as certain people and the way they acted and things they did, blah, 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 blah. And that's the fidelity of it, right? Where they are taking something, an individual out of history and just completely misrepresenting the person.
Okay. So it's like if they were to do whatever, like an ancient Babylonian one, we don't know that there was a guy named Craig in Babylon, but it's fine because he walks around. But if like and does historically reasonably in that world things. But if you were to take like Hammurabi and now he's got fucking nunchucks or something, and you're like, that's. But and then trying to sell it as if Hammurabi always had nunchucks. That's actually the Space Couch video game is Nunchuck Hammurabi.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
He's enforcing the code. That went to a weird place, but thank you for sticking with me in my metaphor. Historic fidelity. I love that. Like, it doesn't need to be pixel perfect, pardon the pun, but well, because they have these characters, they treat them with respect, certain events and whatnot. Again, I mean, yes, they're taking liberties with history, and that's fine, but what they're trying to do with those characters, they're trying to build it as reality. Right.
I mean, there was a battle on Wikipedia because the original Wikipedia article basically said that it's unclear whether he was a samurai or not, and all this stuff. And
wow, like people were correcting each other's corrections and all that.
Well, no, because initially it was like that. It said in there that it's unclear whether he was a samurai or not. because when the Shogun series came out, some dude wrote a post online basically asking why are there no black samurai. I'm like, dude, this is Japan. What are you talking about? And then you Google it and you're like, oh, there's this Yasuke guy. And it, like I said, surface level, if you look into it, it's like, people are saying he's a samurai. And a lot of this is driven by this one academic who wrote a book in 2019. And this is really where Yasuke kind of exploded onto the scene, was because of this guy. And I watched several interviews with him where he explains stuff, and in reality, what he's doing, he has no proof. He has the same information we have that you can go look up, and he's using a lot of conjecture to say yes, this black man was a samurai. It's like, hey, it's a possibility, but there's no historical evidence. Okay. So to say that is really kind of disingenuous.
Fantastic. Okay, like, Mega Man doesn't exist, and that's fine, but don't tell me he does. Even though, maybe there's a guy with a blue gun arm out there somewhere.
Maybe maybe the future. We'll see.
We'll see. Thank you for the deep dive on the Assassin's Creed thing. I had tertiarily heard about it, but I didn't really dip my big toe into it, so I appreciate that. We are going to bring this flying couch back on into the station shortly. Do you have any final thoughts for our space audience, Mr. Division?
Yes. Are we going to get another Hardcore Pong album?
I would love it. I would love another Hardcore Pong album. Like, I bring it up to Carl of Angel Spit every now and then, like, how about that Hardcore Pong? But the thing, Hardcore Pong, if you don't know, is myself and the mighty Angel Spit, and it's like, we gotta both do it. Like, I can't just here's a Hardcore Pong album. I just remixed Angel Spit as Gasoline and Vertebrate, so it's like, it's pretty close. Like, so
nice.
And Carl actually does a little bit of synth work on the last Gasoline album. So it's like there's elements of it, but I would really love to see a Hardcore Pong album myself. We'll see if we can make that happen.
We need a return of Hack and Slash, man.
Pardon?
So we need a return of Hack and Slash.
Yes. Well, Hack and Slash you can find on YouTube now is the Grim Life of Hack and Slash.
Oh, wow. I was not aware of that.
Knoxville's own. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's a YouTube show. He's been doing some great work. So for you at home, check out not only the recent episode with Hack of Space Couch, but his offerings. The Kickstarter for the new thing he's working on will be starting very soon. So I hear. But that's then. This is now. Ladies and gentlemen, please check out Comix Division. Check out his amazing merch, his hilarious takes. Anything you want to preview for us, or should it remain shrouded in mystery?
Well, I mean, you can check me out on Twitter at Comix Division and at YouTube Comix Division.
Go ahead.
And I do a show every Friday called Friday Night Tights over at the Neurotic channel. You should go check that out.
Awesome. Is that like a superhero focus thing, or?
It's called Friday Night Tights. We mainly talk about pop culture and entertainment, which is like what I already do.
Awesome. Well, hey, it's standing offer. Not everybody gets it, but I had so much fun talking about, who would ever have comic books lying around? This is Brian for Space Couch, for Ian for Comix Division, saying, call the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for Divanarchy, and interface with a couch in space. Space Couch out! So now it's just the ending credits playing. Dude! That was so much fun! Absolutely loved it. This will play on Sunday, 8 p.m. my time. I guess we'll see if Biden's the nomination, and if our predictions come to pass.